Thank you for having me today for this conference. I hope you and your family are staying strong during this crisis. I've been advocating that management and leadership are essentially about creating the future and society filled with empathy and care. The role of wise leaders is to emphasize with everybody understanding people and the environment deeply so they will know what to do to help the team bring out the common good for society. The company exists not for individuals to make money, but to make society a better place. Under the current situation, it's natural to think of self-protection and self-preservation. However, we, the business people, are tested to show our courage and take action to accomplish the mission we all carry to help those in need rather than fight against each other over a shrinking piece of the pie. Only when we overcome our sense of fear of losing what we had or what thought we would have had in the future can we trust one another, collaborate beyond the logic of profit and losses. It's a time when our courage is tested. If we all individually remain courageous, we can connect one another on a deep human level and carry out true innovation that can turn around the crisis. Moving forward, the leaders need to aim for long-term sustainable growth, not just for their organizations, but for the society at large. The purpose of the leadership is to examine what is good for their organizations and the society critically and responsibly, and to take action in a timely manner. The economic short-termism and shareholder supremacy have to change more drastically. COVID-19 has shown us how deep the wounds of the society across the globe are, be it economic, social, and environmental issues that needed to be addressed much earlier. The leaders ought to have a concept that the organizations exist not only for the shareholders, but for the employees, customers, and society. They must grow wise and strive for the greater good of the people in and outside their companies, using their organizational power and creativity. The challenge for leaders, therefore, are twofold. One is to cultivate the internal spiritual strength, the determination to resist the imminent economic and social pressure, to focus primarily on the short-term result and maximization of shareholder values. It's not easy to develop and sustain a strong sense of mission to contribute to all stakeholders, from customers, employees, business partners, to other external parties involved, all while keeping the company afloat. Such leaders may often feel alone from time to time, but know what everything is temporary. Just as a good time comes and goes, the tough times don't last forever. And it's okay to make mistakes. That's how we learn to live and lead better. Second, and more importantly, leaders have to cultivate a wise mind to see what is the right things to do in each moment. With the rise of data collection and the science, a vast number of companies are paralyzed by the problems of over-analysis, over-planning, and over-compliance. In doing so, we often undervalue our human ability to gain tacit knowledge and spur intuition. The leaders have to sharpen their capacity to grasp the essence of things through bodily senses, experience, and intuition. And most importantly, they need to cultivate the ability to empathize with others as much as the data gives us an objective and insightful perspective. I believe that human intuition remains one of the most powerful capabilities that we can use to make the most effective and creative decision, especially when the situation demands swift decision-making and dynamic action, even though things are uncertain and rapidly changing. We don't have much time to analyze the situation at a higher level. You just can't have all the information and the data you need, but you need to act here and now. How are you going to deal with such a situation? The answer is intuition based on empathy and experience. To have the inner strength and be resilient in adversity, the leaders need to live in a certain way of life and develop a certain type of disposition or a character to practice such a way of living. Chiefly, they should define their purpose and values, organizational or personal, and lead by example for everybody else in the organization or the team. If you don't know what you or your organization stands for, you surely cannot stand on your ground once a vicious storm of economic and social pressures comes at you to wipe out your sense of integrity. It is also essential to share those purpose and values with other members of organization or team so that they can take action accordingly to why the organization exists, what the organization strives to achieve, and what the organization refuses to comprise along the way. Doing this motivates, mobilizes your peers and partners in the end, even if it may take a number of conflicts. To cultivate wisdom, the leaders have to empathize with others. You must have an ability to sense and understand others, not just for a shallow intellectual level, but on a deep emotional and even spiritual level. Empathy lays the foundation for anyone to know anything about others as well as the world in which they operate. It involves all five senses of the whole human body, just the brain. To emphasize on a deep level, the leaders need to develop sharp bodily senses and cultivate a compassionate heart that can capture the feelings of others. When leaders feel or live through the feeling of others as if they have it on their own, the leaders can create a sense of us with others, which becomes the basis of innovation and unbelievable organizational force. The leaders need to put themselves into others' shoes and transcend their own egos. When I say leaders, it doesn't just mean those who are in the managerial positions, but everybody in the organization or team. Wise leadership should not be considered just chief executive, just for chief executive or those in formal leadership positions. It needs to be developed for anyone and distributed across and beyond the organization, where everybody in the organization, from executive to project managers to frontline employees, can make good decisions on their own and take action promptly. The organization becomes agile, flexible, and resilient. Thinking about leadership in this way is essentially about humanizing management and strategy. This way of leadership embodies Aristotle's ideas of practical wisdom. This COVID-19 crisis has increased the uncertainty and volatility of the business world, and we now need a radical shift of focus in strategic management, from almost excessive emphasis on objective and economic analysis to a more humanizing approach that is based on empathy and altruism. More than ever, we need to take humanizing action rather than doing mechanical analysis. It has been my belief that management or even strategy is ultimately about our way of life. Humanizing a strategy in practice means turning a strategy into a dynamic form of narrative. Just like telling a great story motivates and moves people to action, leaders should plot to the future they aspire to see in the society and show their colleagues scripts or how to take action toward realizing that future. Let's all start taking action to rebuild the world for the better. Thank you so much for listening.